Assalamu Alaikum viewers, welcome back to our channel. Today's major development comes from Iran, where Tehran has issued a strong warning in response to growing U.S. economic pressure and the continuing dispute over the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Secretary, Mohsen Rezaei, has warned that Tehran will not simply accept what it describes as an American economic war. He said Iran would work to neutralize the pressure and warned countries against joining the U.S. campaign. But what exactly does this warning mean, and why is the Strait of Hormuz at the center of the confrontation? Let's discuss. U.S. economic pressure on Iran. The latest warning comes as Washington is increasing economic pressure on Tehran. Iranian officials argue that the United States is attempting to weaken Iran through sanctions, financial restrictions, and pressure on its international economic relationships. Tehran's response has been increasingly confrontational. Rezaei reportedly warned that countries participating in the U.S. economic campaign could be treated as enemies and could face consequences. This is significant because the warning is not directed only at Washington. It also sends a message to neighboring and regional countries that may cooperate with U.S. efforts against Iran. Why is the Strait of Hormuz so important? The second major issue is the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most strategically important maritime choke points. Iran has repeatedly linked the reopening of the waterway to the implementation of commitments made by the United States under the June Memorandum. Iranian officials have said that the strait will remain closed until Washington fulfills its commitments, including issues surrounding the blockade, sanctions, frozen Iranian assets, and military activity. This makes Hormuz a major source of leverage for Tehran. Any prolonged disruption in the strait can have consequences far beyond Iran and the United States because the waterway is crucial for global energy shipments. Reuters has reported that tensions around Hormuz have already disrupted oil transportation and increased concerns about global energy markets. What is Iran threatening? Iran's message appears to have two major components. First, Tehran says it will attempt to withstand and neutralize U.S. economic pressure rather than surrender to it. Second, Iran is warning that countries assisting the U.S. campaign could themselves become targets of Iranian retaliation. This represents a significant escalation in rhetoric because it potentially expands the economic confrontation beyond the direct U.S.-Iran relationship. Iran has also warned that if diplomatic efforts fail and Washington does not honor the existing agreement, Tehran could escalate its response around the strait and beyond. Reuters previously reported that an Iranian official warned of a possible military response if the agreement was not implemented. What could this mean for the region? The biggest concern is that an economic confrontation could develop into a wider regional crisis. If additional countries become involved, the dispute could affect energy supplies, international shipping, insurance costs, and regional trade. At the same time, there are still diplomatic efforts aimed at preventing further escalation. Pakistan, for example, has been involved in mediation efforts, and Pakistan's army chief is scheduled to visit Tehran as regional tensions continue. This suggests that, despite the extremely harsh rhetoric, diplomatic channels have not completely disappeared. The bottom line. So, what should we take from Iran's latest warning? Tehran is clearly signaling that it does not intend to simply absorb increasing U.S. economic pressure. Iran is also using the Strait of Hormuz as an important bargaining tool and has tied its reopening to U.S. commitments. However, the situation remains fluid. Statements from Iranian officials represent Tehran's position and warnings. They should not automatically be interpreted as proof that a new full-scale war is imminent. The coming days could be particularly important because any change in U.S. sanctions, negotiations, or the status of the strait could significantly affect the regional situation. What do you think? Will economic pressure force Iran back to negotiations, or will Tehran respond with even tougher measures? Share your opinion in the comments. If you found this analysis useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Stay connected for more updates and analysis on the developing Iran-US crisis. Thank you for watching.